So today I will take investment account. AS 13, one of the important chapter. Normally a question up to 8 to 10 marks can be asked. A question of 8 to 10 marks can be asked. If they are not asking that practical question, then they will ask a case study question of 4 to 5 marks. But normally they ask a question from this chapter. AS 13, once again a very simple chapter if you have understood the calculation part. In this chapter only you need to understand the thoda sa concept and the calculation part. But let us first complete the content of AS 13, then we will come to the practical point of this particular chapter. Now what do you mean by investment? Investment are asset. Of course it is an asset, correct? So investment are asset which are held by entity for earning income either by way of dividend or by way of interest or by way of rent. Means suppose if you have purchased any equity shares, so from that purchase you will get what? Dividend. So that equity shares will become your investment. Similarly, you know about preference shares, you know about debentures. So if you have done investment in that securities, you are earning either dividend or interest. But if you have done investment in property and that property is let out, so you are earning rental income, so that will be also what? Your investment property, and that investment property is covered in this chapter. Once again I am just giving a clarification. Suppose there is a plant and equipment, and from that plant and equipment if you are earning what? Rental income, that is not covered in this chapter. That is covered where? AS 10. Correct? I hope you have understood. And second, if whatever asset you are holding, if that is hold for capital appreciation, means you have not given that asset to other people, but you are holding it so that the price of that asset will increase in future, and in future you can sell it, so you will earn some capital appreciation on that. That will be also your investment. Correct. Now one clarification has been given that there are some shares debentures which may be held by entity as a stock in trade. Suppose I am a businessman and I do trading in shares, equity shares, means I buy and sell equity shares. So that can I say that equity shares or whatever securities I am holding, that is nothing but held for sale in my ordinary course of business. So if you see the definition of inventory, so inventories are assets which are held for sale in ordinary course of business. So from that definition point of view, this become inventory. So one clarification is given that even though they are stock in trade as per definition given in AS2, but then also it will not be covered in that chapter, it will be covered in this chapter. It will be valued as per this chapter. Chalega? This clarification has been given. I hope you have understood. Now, what is the objective of this chapter? The objective of this chapter is to find out the value of investment at year end. At what value it will be recognized at year end. For that purpose, the entire investment has been classified in two categories. One is current investment, second is long-term investment. Now, what is current investment and what is long-term investment? The long-term investment, they have given very simple definition. What is not current investment, that become long-term investment. It means we need to understand the meaning of current investment. So, current investment are those investment which are readily realizable. What do you mean by readily realizable? Means which can be easily sold in the market, which can be easily converted into cash. Readily means what? It has no restriction. If it has some restriction, it means it cannot be sold. So readily realizable, and which is intended to be held for not more than 1 year from the date of acquisition. So there is an intention that will not sell it within 1 year from the date of acquisition. So then it will become current investment. So of course, which is not current will become long-term investment. Now valuation will depend upon whether the investment is current or long-term. So current investment are valued at cost price or fair value, whichever is lower. Now normally student asks me one doubt, so what is the difference between NRV and fair value? Whether net realizable value and fair value are same or different? What do you think? Means normally for inventory we take which term? Net realizable value. But for investment they have given which term? Fair value. Whether they are same or different? Although yes or no? Yes or no? They are different? Of course the name is different, so they will be different only. So NRV and fair value are not same. NRV we use for what? Inventory. Fair value we use for what? So if suppose MCQ question asks, first option they have given cost price or NRV which were lower, and last option is cost price of fair value which were lower. For investment, which one is correct? Last option. Inventory, which is correct? First option is correct. Now what is fair value? Fair value is actually a definition has been given for which detailed explanation is not given under accounting standard. Detailed explanation is not given. Correct? Detailed explanation you will understand when you will pass CA Inter. So if you want to understand what is the meaning of fair value, you need to come where? In my class for CA final. Until there I will explain. But fair value is simple, but I will say fair value is the amount. You can come. This is your classroom. I am what? I am outsider. This is your classroom. Correct now? I need to take your permission na. Are bolna re? But in this classroom, who has a superpower? You have the superpower. You have a right to ask any question to me. Can I deny? Are bolna re? You have a right to ask, and I have an obligation to answer. To who is superpower? Are bolna re? You have the superpower. I have no power in this classroom. So you have a right to, and I have an obligation to answer. Chalega? Understood? Okay. In my class, so I will be always standing. In this, I have given some respect. Here I am sitting. In my classroom, I always stand and you sit. Okay. So who is more super? You are sitting, I am standing. Chalo, chalo, chalo. So fair value means what? However, this fair value definition is not so much important from examination point of view. So what they have given, fair value is the amount for which the asset could be exchanged. Asset could be exchanged between a knowledgeable, willing buyer, and a knowledgeable, willing seller in an arm's length transaction. Arm's length transaction means in a normal price. Just try to understand. I'll just give one example. Suppose this is a mobile. Now, whether this mobile has right now have a market price? No, it is not in the market. It is in my hand. Market price means what? If it is available in the market for sale. Right now, it is not in the market. Suppose this mobile, I am the dealer of this mobile. I am the dealer of this. I am not a dealer of this mobile, na. I am using this mobile. So I am not the dealer. So this mobile, suppose I am the dealer, then this mobile has a market price. But right now this mobile does not have. But this mobile has fair value. This mobile has fair value. Means all asset has fair value, but all asset does not have. Market price may be one indication of fair value. Means suppose any equity shares are listed in stock market. So that equity shares will have market price. So for that we are not supposed to calculate fair value. The market price will become fair value. But you know there are many shares which are not listed. It does not. It means that shares are not having any. So whether they have market price, but they have what? Fair value. In amalgamation chapter, I am linking the concept with some other chapter. In amalgamation chapter, have you calculated intrinsic value? Intrinsic value? Probably yes, sir. So जोर से yes, sir. Confidently yes, sir. Even though you don't know, say yes, sir. Always yes, sir. So that confidence will come. Thora you know na. Well, yes, sir. So you know about intrinsic value. But that intrinsic value is market price. Whether that intrinsic value is market price, whether that is a quoted price, no. Intrinsic value, how you have calculated all asset minus all liability divided by all asset minus all liability divided by number of shares. So that becomes the fair value of shares. So that is one of the way to calculate the fair value of shares. Means fair value is a subjective term which depends upon some valuation criteria. Intrinsic value is one of the valuation criteria to find out the fair value of shares. So intrinsic value is the fair value of shares. That is not a market price of shares. I hope you are understanding. Thora you are understanding. So fair value will be given in the question. Don't worry. It is thora extra gyan I am giving to inform you that I am a knowledgeable person. Because fair value means what? Between knowledgeable person and you are also knowledgeable student. I am a knowledgeable teacher. You are a knowledgeable student. So between we are exchanging what? What we are exchanging? Knowledge. So what is the fair value of that knowledge? that we can find out whatever price you have paid for this particular class, that is the fair value of that class. चलो ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. But fair value will be given. The question I just want to say from MCQ's point of view, they will disturb you by giving cost price or NRV which is lower, cost price or market price which is lower, cost price or fair value which is lower, all of the above. Which one is correct? If you say all of the above, most of the students will write what? All of the above. For investment cost price or fair value. For inventory cost price or NRV. आगे चलते हैं. Now, for current investment, just try to understand if the fair value is less than the cost price. Means the cost price is 100 and fair value is 90. So there is decline in the value of investment. So that decline will be known as loss, and that loss will be charged to profit and loss account. So what journal entry will do? PL account debit to investment. Investment will decrease and the loss will be transferred to PL account. So PL account debit to investment. Correct? Okay, subsequently the price may increase. Subsequently the fair value may increase. So once the fair value is increased, so that reversal of previous reduction will be also transferred to what? PL. Means suppose 100, initially it was 100, now it become 90. So what is write down? How much write down? Initially it was 100 cost price and the fair value was 90. How much write down? 10. This will be transferred to PL. What journal entry you have done? PL account debit to investment. Year 1, then year 2, what happened? You have not sold it. So once again you will do the valuation. Cost price will remain same, but the fair value become 120. So how much? What is the value? 1. What is the value? 1 to null cost price of fair value whichever is lower. Lower now. Apply the formula. Cost price of fair value whichever is lower. What is the value? So why you are saying 120? देखो जो दिखता है वो होता नहीं, जो होता है वो दिखता नहीं. Whatever is visible that is not correct, and what is correct that is not visible. Apply your first concept, then common sense, then common sense. Correct? So cost price of fair value whichever is lower. So what is the value? Here the value was 90. I have not written. Here the value was 90. Here the value become 100. Correct? It means what was the previous carrying amount? 90. Now the carrying amount become how much increase? That increase will be also transferred to. So reversal journal entry, investment account debit to PL. Understood? Have you understood? This type of question can be asked in MCQ question. So that journal entry has been given. I hope you have understood. Now coming to long-term investment. Long-term investment are those investment which are not current investment. The long-term investment is carried at cost price. Is always carried at cost price. So it is always carried at cost price. But what AS 13 says that if suppose there is a permanent decline in the value of investment, means they have said a decline which is not temporary. A decline which is not temporary means a permanent decline. So if there is a permanent decline in the value of investment, then we should create a provision for such decline. We should create a provision for such decline. Just try to understand, in this we have not created provision, we have directly adjusted with the investment account. But here we need to create a provision. So what journal entry will do? PL account debit to provision for decline in the value of investment. So one provision has been created. It is as simple as you create a provision for doubtful debt. What is journal entry for provision for doubtful debt? What is the journal entry for provision for doubtful debt? PL account debit to provision for doubtful debt. Correct? Whether debtor account will be adjusted, whether debtor account will be affected with that journal entry? No. It means provision for doubtful debt will have which balance? Credit balance, and it will be shown in the balance sheet by way of reduction from debtor account. Means debtor minus provision for doubtful debt. That we show in that way we present in the balance. Similarly here, when you are passing for current investment, directly we are reducing which amount, which account? Investment account. But for this provision, what journal entry we have done? PL account debit to provision. It means it is not reduced from investment account. The ledger account of investment account is not affected. But in balance sheet, what we write on investment account less provision for decline in the value of investment. Correct? Investment account is carried at what? Investment account is shown at cost price. Are you getting? And reduced by provision for permanent decline. This become the carrying amount. This carrying amount will be shown in the balance sheet. Understood? Yes, sir. So provision for this you have understood. Now, whenever there is a permanent decline, where journal entry do PL account debit to provision, and once that provision is reversed, means that provision is no longer required. Means the market now got improved. Now, once the price has been increased, quite possible. Then we reverse that journal entry. Reverse the journal entry, what provision account debit to profit and loss account. However, this is not so much important, but with MCQs, 1 second, everything is important. With multiple choice question, everything is important. Okay. Chalega. Now, investment property, already I have said that investment property is also covered in this chapter. So, any land or building or land and building, if it is given on rent to other for earning rental income, or it is held for capital appreciation, that will become investment property. Means I'll ask one question. Any property means land, building, etc. Any property which is held for sale in ordinary course of business, that is what? Inventory. That is inventory. Any property which is used for protection purpose, PP. Any property which is used for admin purpose, any property which is held for capital appreciation, investment property covered in AS 13. Correct? Now, what AS 13 says that even though it is covered under AS 13, but the valuation will be done as per cost model which is given under AS 10. Means even though it is covered under AS 13, but an investment property is accounted as prescribed in, means their measurement is applied as per, but only which model? Means for investment property we can't apply revaluation model, but for all property, plant and equipment we can apply either cost model or revaluation model. Be careful in exam. Investment property only cost model. The cost model means what? Cost price less accumulated depreciation less accumulated impairment loss. So AS 13 is totally silent about depreciation. Means this depreciation will be as per the guidance given under AS 10, and impairment loss will be as per AS 28. So this AS 10 depreciation all we know. So that guidance will apply, and impairment loss will understand under AS 28. Means this is totally as per AS 10. Understood? So even though investment property is covered under AS 13, but their valuation, their measurement will be as per cost model given under AS 10. Chalega. So this is not so much important, but once again MCQs, anything can be asked. Now, what is the cost price of investment? Cost price means what? Purchase price. Then all the expenses will be added. Which expenses? Which are directly attributable? All the expenses will be added. For example, purchase price, add any brokerage or fees, and add any taxes on purchase, add any expense to claim title. Expense to claim title means any stamp duty. Suppose you have paid some stamp duty to claim title. Title means ownership. So that will be also added. So this becomes the cost price. Cost price is very simple. Nothing to explain. Correct. Once again, there is a difference between purchase price and cost price. Cost price means that price in which you are doing initial recognition. Purchase price means whatever you have paid to the supplier. The purchase price and cost price are two different words. So don't be confused about purchase price and cost price. So this is the purchase price and this becomes the cost price. We do initial recognition at cost price. Initial journal entry is done at cost price. Okay. Then acquired in exchange of non-monetary considerations. It is as simple as what we have done in AS 10. Cost price of investment acquired will be either equal to fair value of asset given up plus minus cash adjustment, or fair value of asset received, whichever is clearly evident. However, they have not given one more option about carrying amount of asset given, because they think that for investment always fair value is determinable. Means that practically that point will never arise, and therefore that point is not given in the AS 13. Correct? So if suppose both are not given, then apply common sense, then you will take carrying amount only. But in AS 13 chapter, either this will be given or this will be given. First preference will be given to what? Fair value of asset given up plus minus cash adjustment. Plus minus cash adjustment, have you understood now? Means either in that transaction you receive cash or you pay cash. If you are paying cash, then it will be plus ki minus? Plus. If you are receiving cash, then it will be minus. Understood? Don't be confused about this point. I hope you have understood. No explanation required. Journal entry also you can do it. Yes, sir. acquired in exchange for shares or other securities. Sometimes what happens when you purchase investment, suppose I purchase investment of investment, any investment, but you have allotted your own equity shares. Means exchange has been done for the shares and securities of that company. So I have acquired some property from you and I have allotted what? Equity shares. So the cash is not paid, asset is not given up, equity share has been given. In that case, cost price of investment acquired will be equal to the fair value of equity shares or debentures or preferences, whatever has been issued. Fair value, not face value. Face value and fair value are two different terms. Correct? So fair value will be given in the question. Don't worry, fair value will be given in the question, not face value. It is what? Fair value. It is what? Fair value. Only the fair value of shares, not the fair value of investment acquired. In this only one option is there, fair value of securities issued. Because normally fair value of securities issued can be easily identified. Therefore, second preference has not been given only यहाँ पर. चलेगा? Yes sir. Once again, these two part is important for MCQs, important for multiple choice question. Reclassification of investment, this is super important. I think if there is a 10 attempt, 10 past examination, out of 10 examination, 4 to 5 times this question have been asked. 4 times to pakka. 4 times to pakka. Very simple, means once again bonus question for you, but you can write only when you retain the point. When you retain the point. Reclassification. Now initially you have classified an investment as current and now the intention has been changed. Now you want to hold it. So can you say current will become long term? So if there is a reclassification from current to long term or vice versa, from long term to current, at what value it will be reclassified? At what value it will be reclassified, that is given. Correct? So when long term investment are reclassified to current investment, then transfer means reclassification is made at lower of cost price or carrying amount on the date of transfer. Now carrying amount of long term investment, so carrying amount of long term investment means cost price less provision for permanent decline. Carrying amount of long term investment means what? Cost price less provision for permanent decline. Understood? So can you say cost price and carrying amount? Carrying amount means what? Cost price less provision for permanent decline. Got this point? Simple. Cost price will be given, provision will be also given. So of course in that case carrying amount will be always lower. If there is no provision, then cost price and carrying amount will be always same. Cost price and carrying amount will be always same. However, from current investment to long term investment, then reclassification will be done at cost price or fair value on the date of transfer. Fair value of current investment. Fair value of current investment on the date of reclassification. Can I say once again cost price will be given, fair value will be given, you will need to take lower. Super easy. Means question cannot be easier than this. But then also students are not able to write in exam. They are not able to write. Let me show one question to you. What type of question can be asked? This is one question. Question 5. Sorry. Blue Chip Equity Investment Limited want to reclassify the investment in accordance with AS 13. State the value at which investment have to be classified in the following cases. Long-term investment in company A costing rupees 8.5 lakh are to be reclassified as current. The company has reduced the value of this investment to 6.5 lakh to recognize other than temporary decline in the value. 6.5 is what? Carrying amount. 8.5 is what? Cost price. The fair value on the date of transfer is 6.8. Can I say this is bakwas? This is not at all important because here the long-term investment is reclassified to current investment. The cost price or carrying amount. Normally, if you will forget this point, you will take fair value in exam. And normally we forget because we don't revise. Small point makes a question difficult. It does not mean the concept is difficult because we are not revising it, because we are not able to retain it, and because of that reason in exam hall it becomes difficult. Right now it is very simple. Everyone will say no, because right now you know the content, you know the concept, so you will be able to answer. So entire game is that 3-hour game. Entire game is 3 hours. See, at that 3 hour how you are performing. How you are performing. चलेगा. तो So of course the answer is what? 6.5 lakh. You got 1 marks. This question will come for how many marks? 5 marks. You got how many marks? 1 mark. Long-term investment in company B costing rupees 7 lakh are to be reclassified as current. The fair value on the date of transfer is 8 lakh and the book value is 7 lakh. Book value means carrying amount because there was no permanent decline. Therefore, cost price and carrying amount will be same. In this case, you will do reclassification at what? 7 lakh. Suppose the fair value is given 6 lakh. Then what is your answer? How many are saying 6 lakh? जो बोलेंगे सच बोलेंगे. बोलो. हुआ ना? Mistake हुआ? Understood? Just try to understand in class right now everything you know, then also you are doing mistake. Because there are some default mistake. Default mistake means normally student will commit that type of mistake. And we need to understand from a mistake only that we should not repeat that mistake. Even if I am a student, then I will also do that type of mistake. Don't worry. Because when I was student, I have also done that mistake, but I have rectified that mistake before exam. This is the difference between a student who pass and who do not. This is the difference. Every student will do mistake. Chalega. So now, if you have done mistake, next time if you are repeating it, there is some problem. Okay. So if you have done mistake, give one star mark and give one smiley. Smiley means that next time you will not do mistake. Chalega? Yes, sir. Point number C, current investment in company C costing rupees 10 lakh are reclassified as long term. The market value means fair value. If fair value is not given, market value is an indication of fair value. Already I have said, so market value is nothing but fair value is 12 lakh. So 10 lakh or 12 lakh, whichever is lower. Lower is what? 10 lakh. But the 1 marks, 3 marks you got. But the question is of how many marks? So you will get how many marks? If you write only the answer, so you need to first write down as per AS 13 this para. If you do not write down this para, then you will get only 3 marks. So you write down this para. Which para? This para. So can you write down in your own word? Very simple para. So write down first as per AS 13. Where? As per AS 13, valuation of investment. This is the para given in AS 13. You can write down. Then write down point number 1, point number 2, point number 3. Then you get 5 marks. One more point I just want to say, which normally a teacher do not say to the student, but is the real fact. Can I say? Don't think negative about that statement. Always a statement should be taken in a positive way, not in a negative way. Every statement has 2 reactions, one positive reaction, one negative reaction. Understood? Are you getting? Suppose I say, you are the outstanding student. Positive means next day you will do more hard work. Negative means, I am the outstanding. Oh yeah, now started, become relaxed, stop studying. This is negative statement. So every statement has a negative and positive. In CA exam, ICA don't give marks for correct answer. Negative, you'll fail. I will not write exam. In CA exam, ICA exam, they don't give marks for correct answer. They give marks for best answer. Because the criteria is not selection, criteria is rejection. This you need to understand right now. Then only you will come in that 20% wala category. Understood? Otherwise, you will not be able to come there. So criteria is not selection. The criteria is rejection because they want best among you. Means any student who are not able to pass, it does not mean he is not studying. It does not mean he don't know anything. He also know everything. But that 20% student meet that best criteria. That is the fact. Means they will not give 80% result now. That is known to everyone. the result will be on around 15% to 25%, not more than 25%. So it is never. I think only 1 or 2 attempts it has gone. Now, how many of you have taken this as a negative statement? So you will feel bad, you lose confidence, you will not study only. No, you should take it as a positive. Because just try to understand. I'll give one a good point from your point of view. What happens in CA exam? Take this point, note this point. If you understand this mathematics now, definitely you will become CA. This mathematics try to understand. If suppose there are 100 students, just try to understand. As per my experience, because I am teaching from last 15 years, so it means I have an experience in teaching na. Means pata nahi how many students I have taught now, so I can't count also. It is more than 50,000 students I have taught. Out of 50,000, pata nahi kitne jan, how many has become CA? Correct. As per my experience, 50% students do not study. If they are not studying, they are not in competition only. You are in this 50%. Bolo yes or no? So this is not. Means they are not in competition only, na? If they are not in they have taken classes, huh? Classes so everyone is taking, but they are not studying. They are not studying self-study. There is no revision. 50% students are not studying. Now, 50%. Those who are studying, out of these, 30% students do not do effective revision. Effective revision means whatever revision is required. Suppose if I say you need to study 100 hours advanced accounting, bio. This is the minimum requirement. Minimum. But you are studying only 30 hours, 40 hours. So this is not effective study. I am just giving one example. So it means 30% are not doing effective revision. Only 20%, or I will say, chalo theek hai, isko 25 kar do. 25. So it means these 25% students are doing effective revision. And the result is what? 15 to 20%. It means if you see, out of 25 students, 20 students pass. It means you need to come in this category. If you come in this category, the chances of pass is pakka. That you need to understand. Got this point? If you understand this mathematics, now CA exam is very easy. Correct. I was in this category from CA Foundation. Therefore, I passed CA Foundation, CA Inter, CA Final. You ask any chartered accountant, they will say, I was in this category. You ask anyone. No one will say, I was in this category. No, this though is not in competition. So that you need to understand. If you understand this mathematics, CA exam is very easy because the competition is with among only 25% students. 25, and out of this, some student will become CA. So this mathematics, if you understand, exam is very easy. Otherwise, it will become difficult for the student. Okay, sir. So this is very easy. So with this question, I have just informed you that how many you are getting 3 marks, how many are getting 5 marks. So those who are getting 5 marks, their chances of passing more. Those who are getting 3 marks, they will struggle in getting aggregate. Okay, yes, sir. Sure. Now coming to disposal investment. Disposal means sale of investment. So whenever there is sale, we need to calculate gain or loss on sale. Once again, the similar formula. First, sale proceed. Sale proceed means what? Sale price less any cost of disposal. That will become net sale proceed. So net disposal proceed means after deduction of cost of disposal. Cost of disposal means if you have paid any brokerage, etc., that will be deducted. Correct. From this will minus carrying amount of the investment sold, and the remaining will be gain or loss, and that gain or loss will be transferred to profit and loss account. Simple. I think no discussion required. Correct. This scope means whether this AS13 is applicable or not applicable to the following. So what they are saying, this is applicable to all investment except this point. Means this AS13 is not applicable this point. This scope or applicability is important for multiple choice question. They will say out of these AS13 is not applicable to what. They may ask this type of question in MCQs. So it is not applicable to recognition of interest, dividend, rental. So it is not applicable to recognition of this income because this is covered in AS9. Covered in AS9. Chalega. It is not applicable to any lease transaction. Operating lease means rental. So any lease transaction is covered under AS19. It is not covered to any investment of retirement benefit plan. If you remember AS15, in AS15 you might have done some plan asset. You remember plan asset? When I'll come to AS15, I will speak about plan asset. So they have just given one clarification that plan asset is also an investment but covered under AS15, not covered under AS13. Chalega. Mutual fund, bank and public financial institution, any investment in mutual fund, etc. is outside the scope of this particular chapter. Outside the mutual fund. Do you know about mutual fund? The mutual fund, what they do, they will take the money from public and they will do the investment. So mutual fund AS13 is not applicable. For mutual fund, public financial institution, AS13 is not applicable. Chalega? Okay, done. Disclosure requirement you read by. Disclosure requirement you read by your own. Chalega. Now coming to investment accounting, this is important for 8 to 10 marks question. Now for the purpose of accounting, all investment in securities are divided in two categories. One is known as fixed income bearing investment. Second is known as variable income bearing investment. Fixed income is investment in debentures, investment in bonds, investment in some other government securities where you are getting fixed rate of interest. Variable income means investment in equity shares. Investment in equity shares because there we get dividend, but that is not fixed. That will depend upon profit. Therefore, it becomes variable. Achha, investment in preference shares will be fixed or variable? Investment in preference shares will be fixed or variable? Fixed or variable? No, it is variable. Because the rate is fixed, but the dividend is not fixed. Preference dividend will be also declared based on profit. If there is no profit, means there is loss, no company will declare preference dividend. But in case of debenture, if there is loss, then also they need to pay what? Interest. So here the rate is fixed, but the preference dividend is not fixed. It means that is also based on profit and therefore that is also variable income bearing investment. So example of these are equity shares and preference shares. Apart from that, all securities will come in which category? Fixed income bearing investment. So the accounting of fixed income bearing investment and variable income bearing investment will be different, and therefore there are two concepts. First we'll discuss about the fixed income bearing investment. So whenever you purchase any fixed income bearing investment, what journal entry will do? Investment account debit to bank. Investment account debit to bank. Now purchase can be done in two ways. Either you are purchasing that investment directly from company, means suppose there is a debentures of ABC Limited and you purchase the debenture directly from ABC Limited. Then to journal entry is investment account debit to bank. But sometimes we purchase securities from market. Market from means from debenture holders. Correct? So suppose you are debenture holders and I want to buy debentures, so I can purchase directly from debenture holders. I will not go to the company. So it means I am purchasing that from stock market. I am purchasing that from stock market. Are you able to understand? So if I am purchasing from debenture holders means from stock market. In that case, what happened? There is some interest element that we need to understand. Correct? Means just try to understand what is the concept. Concept is what? Suppose this is what 1 year. Correct? And there is one company ABC Limited and they have a 10% debenture. 10% debentures. Correct? So can you say whenever debentures will be issued, the company will fix the rate of interest. The rate of interest is what? 10%. This rate of interest is applicable, this always applicable to nominal value. Nominal value means what? Face value. Nominal value and face value are same. Nominal value and face value are same. Correct. Now company will also fix the due date of payment. When to pay this interest. Either it can be paid on annual basis, means either it can be paid on 31st March annually, means in 1 year it is paid only one time, or it can be payable on half yearly basis. Half yearly basis means we can say 30th September and 31st March. So this is 2 times in a year. Or it can be paid on quarterly basis. Quarterly basis means what? It is payable on 30th June, then 30th September, then 31st December, then 31st March. So 4 times in a year. Or it can be payable on monthly basis. So at the end of each month, then 12 times in a year. So this information will be always given in the question. So you need to find out from the question what is the due date of payment of interest. Due date of payment of interest. Correct. Let us assume half yearly. Now if it is paid on half yearly basis, the 2 due dates will be 30th September and 31st March. Understood? This much have you understood? Correct. Means company will pay 6 month interest यहाँ पर and 6 month interest यहाँ पर. So company will pay 6 month interest to whom? To the holder of debenture. Correct. Now suppose Mr. Ram has purchased debenture at this point of time. Now they purchase 10 lakh debenture at 10 lakh rupees only for simplicity. Means at nominal value, at par, for simplicity. Okay? Understood? So but on this date, who will pay interest? To whom? To Ram. For how many months? 6 months. So he will get 10 lakh into 10% into what? 6 by 12. How much it is coming? How much? 1 lakh ka 50,000. So 50,000. So 50,000 interest received by Ram. Achha, this chapter we are doing from ABC Limited point of view or Ram point of view? Ram point of view. That I forgot to say. So this chapter we are doing from Ram point of view, not from company's point of view. Chalega. Correct. Now what happened? Suppose on this date, on 31st December, Ram found Sita. Understood? So there will be some transaction between Ram and Sita. And Ram sold the entire debenture to whom? Sita. Suppose at 10 lakh only. I don't want to calculate with gain or loss. At 10 lakh. Now, case Ram has sold to Sita. Correct? Add rupees 10 lakh. Correct. But just try to understand, in this transaction there is something. For this 3 months, who was holding investment? And for these 3 months, who will be holding investment? It means, can I say, this first 3 month interest belong to whom? And the next 3 month interest belong to whom? But company will pay 6 month interest on which date? On 31st March. To whom? Sita. So Ram will say, Arre, what happened? If I sell the venture to Sita, then Sita will get entire 6 month interest. But out of that 6 month interest, 3 month interest belong to whom? Ram. So Ram will demand 3 month interest or not. And Sita will pay also. And if Sita will not pay, then Ram will not sell only. Means to make the transaction effective, Ram will demand what? And Sita will pay what? To whom? Means Ram will receive interest from whom? Sita will pay to whom? Ram. Means can I say on this date, apart from this 10 lakh, Ram will also receive what? 3 month interest. 3 month interest will be 25,000. So this will become 25,000 will add and this become 10 lakh 25,000. This is known as cum interest price. And this is known as X interest price. X interest price. Understood? So in the question, they will give either cum interest price or X interest price. Either they will give X interest price or cum interest price. So first from the question you to understand the price, whatever has been given in the question for purchase or sale, that is cum interest or X interest. Cum interest means including, X interest means excluding interest. This point have you understood? Correct. Means can I say whenever Ram has, just write one, whenever Ram has sold investment to Sita, so Ram will receive 3-month interest. 3-month interest. Bolo yes, and Sita will pay 3-month interest. Even the question is silent, this is dimmed point or not? This is dimmed point. The question will be silent about this. This is understood point. Do by your own. This is understood point. Therefore, the calculation you do by your own, even though question is silent. Have you understood this point? Now in this 10,25,000, you only say how much Ram has received for investment and how much they have received for interest. We need to segregate it. And Sita has purchased investment, how much they have paid for investment and how much they have paid for interest. In the books of Sita, what journal entry will do? Investment account debit, interest account debit to bank. Understood? So right now I am saying about the purchase. So it is what? Investment account debit, interest account debit to bank. Bank will be with what amount? Cum interest price. This will be with X interest cost price, and interest will be interest. So interest means what? Any interest paid by whom? Interest paid by, here what? Here it is in the books of buyer, na? The interest paid by buyer to whom? Seller. From last due date to the date of purchase. From last due date to the date of purchase. Understood? I think this you understood. But can I say in this we need to calculate X interest cost price. The cost price, this is not purchase price. So it means we need to find out how to calculate X interest cost price. So how to purchase? So there is one format. Format is this. Whenever a question will come, apply this format. Always start the calculation with cum interest cost, cum interest purchase price. So cum interest purchase price. In our question it was 10,25,000. That will be given in the question. Bolna rahe? Then that is including what? So deduct what? Deduct interest. From last due date to the date of purchase you can calculate for 3 months. So 25,000 you can deduct. So this become what? X interest purchase price. This is X interest. Actually this is purchase price. Now we need to calculate cost price. So it means we need to add all the expenses incurred to purchase that. So all the expense will be brokerage, tax, etc. Whatever has been given. If you add all expense on purchase, this will become the cost price. This will become X interest cost price. Understood? Have you understood this point? Any doubt? Suppose this is given 1,000. So what is the X interest cost price? 10 lakh 1,000. 10 lakh 1,000. Have you understood? Are you getting what I am saying? Now what journal entry will do for this? Batao. Journal entry will what? Investment account debit how much? 10 lakh 1,000. Interest account debit how much? 25,000. To bank how much? 10 lakh 26,000. Have you understood? Suppose in the question the quotation is X interest price. I mean right now what I have assumed the quotation was cum interest. 10 lakh 25,000 was given, but now it is not given. So can the format remain same? Now you write down what? 10 lakh यहाँ पर, because X interest price is given. 1,000 is what? And this become 10 lakh. My question to you all, if the quotation is X interest, so you will do in this way, na? My question to you all, when the quotation is X interest, whether Sita will pay interest to Ram, whether Ram will receive interest, yes or no? Yes. Always yes. Always yes. Means whether the quotation is X interest or cum interest, it will not affect the interest calculation. So here also you need to calculate what? Interest. And what is the cum interest price? Automatically calculated, but that is not required for journal entry. So your, can I say, to avoid mistake, always follow this what? Format. You will never do mistake. Because if you will not use this format, it is quite possible you will forget the interest calculation. So in exam, whenever questions come, first write down this format. Format is what? Start with what? Come interest, purchase price, less interest paid. Then it become X interest, purchase price. Add all expenses given in the question. That will become X interest cost price. Simple format. Format हो गया. Now can you see, in this case also journal entry remain same. Journal entry remains same whether it is come interest quotation or X interest quotation. Come interest quotation or X interest quotation. Done. Job done. आगे चले. Purchase entry you have understood. Now come to the sale journal entry. Now sale journal entry, now let us do from Ram point of view. Same question from Ram point of view. Abhi you have done from Sita point of view. Sita was purchasing and Ram was selling. Let us do from Ram point of view. Correct. So can I say what Ram journal entry will do? So they have received money. So bank account debit to investment and to interest also, because they will receive interest. So what journal entry will be there? Bank account debit to investment to interest. Correct. Understood. Now, how much they have received? Total 10 lakh 25,000 as per my example. Out of that, how much they have received for investment? 10 lakh. Understood. And whatever, how much they have received for interest? 25,000. Journal entry is very simple. In my question, because can I say cost price and the sale price was same, therefore there was no gain or loss. But can I say now you can compare this with the carrying amount, and if there is a gain or loss, that you can calculate. Any gain or loss will be transferred to what? PL. If gain, then what is the journal entry? Investment account debit to PL. Means investment account debit to gain, and that gain will be transferred to PL. If there is loss, then what is journal entry? Loss on sale to investment, and that loss will be transferred to PL. This journal entry you can do. This journal entry you can do. Means whenever there is sale, so there should be one working note to calculate gain or loss on sale. So what is the format to calculate it? I'll just give one full proof working note that any question can be done with this. So whenever there is sale transaction, always start with come interest sale price. So in my question, what is the come interest sale price? 10 lakh 25,000. What was the interest received? 25,000. So what is the X interest sale price? 10 lakh. Understood? Have you understood? बोल रही डाउट है? My mistake. This is a copy paste mistake, okay? Copy paste mistake. Now, okay? When you receive the book now, today or tomorrow you receive the book, correct it, okay? Copy me. This is copy paste mistake हो गया? अरे यार क्या है? चलो, I'll change the format थोड़ा सा. Write down this format. थोड़ा सा there is some mistake in the format. We'll start with what? Write down this. Come interest sale price. As per my example, 10 lakh 25,000. 10 lakh 25,000. From this you will minus what? Interest received from last due date to the date of sale. From last due date to the date of sale. How much? This will be X interest. Sale price, that will be how much? 10 lakh. From this you'll do all selling expense. Selling expense, whatever has been given in the question, it can be brokerage, it can be any other tax, etc. Whatever given, that you deduct all the selling expense. Suppose in my question, so nothing was given. Or let us take 1000 if you want to take. Correct now. Suppose selling expense they have given 10,000. Suppose they have given 10,000. We should reduce. So at the time of purchase, expense are added. At the time of sale, expense are deducted. Be careful. Normally student do mistake यहाँ पर. Because this sale process received and expenses are paid. In case of purchase, both are paid. So normally student do mistake यहाँ पर. Expense they will add यहाँ पर. So selling expense will be deducted. So this become net sale profit. This become net sale profit. It is 9,90,000. And can you say from this, if you deduct carrying amount of investment sold, whatever has been given, if you deduct, so this become gain or loss. This gain or loss will be transferred to P&L. Carrying amount of investment sold. Carrying amount of investment sold. Now this carrying amount of investment sold is calculated by using two formula. Either by using weighted average price method, or by using first in, first out method, FIFO method. Either by using weighted average price method or FIFO method, as per the information given in the question. So read the question carefully, whether they have applied weighted average method or FIFO method. But if the question is silent, you will apply what? Weighted or FIFO? This. If question is silent, always follow what? Now only I need to explain what? How to calculate this. If you have understood this, my job done. So I'll take two questions. From that two questions, I will explain this part. So if you understood this, my job done na. Then you practice by your own all the questions. Chalega. And normally students do mistake here in this calculation. Even they know in exam they will do some mistake. Okay, sir. Any doubt? Batao. In this statement, please change this statement. Na thoda sa, I think there is some typo mistake. You change this because you receive book tomorrow. So please change it. Have you understood this point? Now, as per my example, whatever I have taken, batao, on 31st March, who will receive interest? Sita. What general interest Sita will do? Bank account debit to interest. For how many months? 6 months. 6 months. Can I say 6 months they have received, Sita has received, and 3 months already paid. What is the net interest income? 3 months. And that 3 month interest income will be transferred to profit and loss account. Got this point? This is the entire concept. This is the entire concept. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. Okay. The balance all the points I will explain with one questions only. Up to this, any doubt? So can I take one question? I will take one good question. I will take one good question. Come to question number 3. Means I am taking that question in which all the points are covered. Okay. A purchase on 1st March rupees 24,000 5% Bharat debenture stock at 90 cum interest. At 90 cum interest. Okay. So this 24,000, whenever any amount is given before the instrument name, if any amount is given before the name of the instrument, what is the name of the instrument? 5% debenture stock. This is always nominal value. Correct? Any amount given before the name of the instrument. This 5% is the rate of interest. and the warrant debenture stock is the name of that instrument. At 90 come interest, this is what? At what price it has been purchased. So at 90 means at rupees 90 come interest. Got this point? So at rupees 90, so if the face value, because you can see the nominal value has not been given anywhere. So it means we need to assume that face value per debenture is 100. So 90 by 100 means 90%. So it has been purchased at 90% come interest. So 90% of what? 24,000. 90% of 24,000. Okay. Interest being payable on 31st March and 30th September each year. This is very important date. So you need to circle it. Then stamp and expenses on purchase amounted to rupees 20 and brokerage at a rate of 2% was charged on cost. And brokerage was charged on cost. Interest for the half year was received on due date. Of course, on due date, company will pay interest. Yes, sir. On 1st September, rupees 10,000 of stock was sold at 92x interest, less brokerage of 2%. So on 1st September, something has been sold. On 30th September, rupees 8,000 stock was again purchased at 91x interest, plus brokerage at 2% and charges of rupees 10. Once again, purchase has been done. On 1st December, rupees 6,000 stock was sold at 94 come interest, less brokerage at 2%. Once again, some sale has been done. The market price of stock on 31st December was 91%. This is the fair value of the investment has been given. Whenever question is silent, always will assume for this particular chapter that investment is current investment. And therefore, we value at cost price or fair value or market price, whichever is lower. So the investment account for the year ended, making all calculation in month. Now, whenever this type of question is done, lot of dates are there, lot of information there. Normally, student will take wrong information from the question. And when you are taking wrong information from the question, whatever you are doing, that is wrong. So you are wasting your time in exam hall because you will not get any marks. It means, can I say, for this particular type of question, information is more important than calculation. First, take correct information. And therefore, I always suggest that always prepare one timeline like this. Always prepare a timeline like this. But don't waste your time much in preparing this timeline. This is only for your understanding. Write down all the dates. Dates are more important. So, the question started from which date? 1st Jan? 1st Jan, na? So, 1st Jan. Now, they are given on 1st March. 1st March, they purchased nominal value what? 24,000. At what? 90 come interest, plus brokerage 2% and plus stamp duty 20. Everything written. Okay. Then on 1st September, they have sold nominal value 10,000 at 92x interest. 92x interest, less brokerage 2%. Because stamp duty is paid by buyer, not by seller. And therefore, in the books for sale, there is no stamp duty. On 30th September, they again purchased nominal value 8,000 at 91x interest, brokerage 2%, expense rupees 10. Then on 1st 12, as per the information, they again sold nominal value 6,000 at 94x interest, brokerage 2%. Correct. And then you identified two due date. What are two due date given in the question? It is given 31st March. So 31st March, give one gola, and 30th September, another gola. This is the total question. Understood? Now, once you prepare timeline, so first you need to find out कि at the time of purchase and at the time of sale, we need to pay and receive interest from the other party. So for how many months that interest will be received or paid? So at the time of purchase, we will pay interest. At the time of sale, we receive interest. So for how many months? That we need to understand. So batao, if you purchase on 1st March, so you need to pay interest for how many months? Bolo? For how many months? First, you receive interest from whom? From, you need to pay interest to whom? Seller. Correct? For how many months? Batao. On 1st March you are purchasing na. So on 1st March you need to pay interest for how many months? For 5 months. Means you have understood. From last due date to the date of purchase. So what was the last due date? Okay, last due date was 30th September in the previous year. So from 30th September to what? 1st March. It means 5 months. So this timeline is very important. If you do without timeline, believe me, you will do mistake in exam hall. Even though you know the concept, it does not mean you don't know the concept, but in exam in hurry you will do mistake. And one mistake, entire calculation will be affected. Entire working note will be wrong. So one 8 marks question becomes 0 marks. Got this point? Have you understood interest for 5 months? Interest for 5 months. Now interest will be calculated on which amount? Nominal value. Always nominal value. So 24,000 rate of interest was how much? 5% into 5 by 12. This you can calculate. So first you calculate this. 500. Understood. Now next came 1st September. 1st September may you have sold, means you need to receive interest from the other party. To receive interest for how many months? 1st September. You understand? I will not say. Means from 31st, last due date 31st March. This gola na? From 31st March to 1st September. It is how many months? 5 months. You receive interest on which amount? Nominal value. What is the nominal value of investment sold? 10,000. So 10,000 into 5% to 5 by 12, 208. You can calculate. Correct. Understood. Now next, on 30th September, again we purchase. Now here difficulty will come. Because 30th September is itself a due date. On due date we have purchased. On due date we have purchased. Means I have taken a good question. I am not taken for a simple because I don't have time. I have taken a good question which covers all the points. Chalega? So purchase, so you purchase nominal value 8,000 at a rate of 91x interest, brokerage 2% and expense 10. Here doubt will come. The company will pay interest to whom? Because purchase has been done on 30th September. It is quite possible the company will pay to this person or company will pay to the seller. Are you getting? Quite possible now, because on the due date only what? On the due date this transaction has happened. So company will pay to whom? The entire interest for the 6 months. Entire interest of 6 months company will pay to the buyer or seller. This one doubt will come. Are you able to understand? Now I'll just give one hint from examination point of view. Whenever the quotation, suppose this quotation is come interest. Come interest means this price is inclusive of interest. It means, can I say, this person is receiving interest from whom? Buyer. Are you getting what I am saying? If this price is what? Come interest. Abhi to this price is given X interest. But suppose this price is come interest. Come interest means 8,000 into 91%, whatever is coming, that is inclusive of what? Inclusive of interest. If that is inclusive of interest, so there is no doubt. Miss Kennis, right now this investor will receive purchase now. Right now this investor will pay the entire interest to the other party. 1 minute. My mistake, because this is a purchase transaction. I was saying about sale transaction. My mistake. Okay. 1 second. Let me say. On 30th September, purchase has been done. On 30th September, purchase has been done. Correct. And the quotation is given X interest. Quotation is given X interest. If the quotation is come interest, let us assume. So can you say it means this investor is paying entire interest to the other party? Correct. Have you understood? Means this investor will receive interest and then only will pay na. Then only will pay. Are you getting what I am saying? So first they will receive from whom? First they will receive from whom? Interest they will receive from company and will pay entire interest to whom? Seller. So income interest doubt will not come. Whenever the quotation is come, interest doubt will not come. Whether this investor is paying interest or is not paying interest. But the quotation is X interest, then doubt will come. Have you understood this point? Because X interest means the price is excluding interest. If the price is excluding interest, then one doubt will come. The investor is paying interest, or investor is not paying interest. That in that case you can take assumption. From simplicity point of view, from simplicity, I will say always assume that investor will pay interest. Your end result will be always same. So for simplicity, what assumption will take? What assumption will take? The interest is paid by buyer to seller. For simplicity, your end result will always remain same. Got this point? Yes, sir. So this also you have understood. This point also you have understood. I think this point you have understood. Last. So in this case, if suppose the interest is paid by buyer to seller, so 6 month interest will calculate. 6 month interest will be calculated on 8,000. On 8,000. Understood? Correct. Now coming on first 12. On first 12, sale has been done. The interest will be received for how many months? For how many months? Bolo. Two months. Means from 30th September to 1st December. So it is what? 30th September, October, November. 2 months. 2 month interest we can calculate on 6,050 rupees will be calculated. First you need to calculate this interest. If you have calculated this interest correctly, now entire working note can be done correctly. Understood? So let us do the working note. But you don't have the questions now. You have the questions? Expected question has been given. You should take the printout. Now you have not taken the printout. Not taken the printout. Let us do. But you need to help me, okay? For calculation. The first working note will be what? Calculation of X interest cost price. Correct. So there are two date of purchase. What is the date of purchase? Batao. First is what? 1st September and 30th September. Two date of purchase, na? 1st September and 30th September. Make two columns. 1st September, 30th September. First write down nominal value. Nominal value is what? 24,000 and 24,000 and 8,000. Nominal value is 24,000 and 8,000. And then give one underline. This is only for your understanding that nominal value is 24,000, 8,000. This is not a part of calculation. Then write down that format. Format, you know. What is the format? We'll start with X interest or cum interest? Cum interest purchase price. From this minus what? Interest paid. What will get? X interest purchase price. In this we'll add brokerage and we'll add stamp duty or expenses, whatever has been given. This is the format and this will become X interest cost price. For every question the format remain same. Have you understood? First write down the quoted price. So for 24,000 it is cum interest or X interest. So they are given cum interest. 90 cum interest. So 24,000 and 90% how much? 24,000 and 90%. So you write down 21,600. You write down यहाँ पर. You have written यहाँ पर. And for this 8,000 it is X interest. So 8,000 and 91% how much? 7,000 7,208 you have written here. 7,280. Now, okay. Are you able to understand what I have written? Then now interest already we calculated. Interest, this will be on 24,000. 24,000 into what? 5%. For how many months? 5 months. How much? 500. This will be for how many months? 8,000. Already we said कि entire month interest will be given on due date the purchase was done. So 6 month interest 8,000 into 5% into 6 by 12. Always this will be for simple. Means always assume that interest is paid. You will never do mistake. Correct. How much it is coming? 200. Understood. Now can you see you can easily calculate this. So 21,600 minus 500. How much? 21,500. 100. 21,100. And can you see this is not required? This is not required for solution. So if you want to leave, or if you want to write, it is your, because this is not required. Come interest price not required for journal entries. But if you want to add 7280 plus 200, how much? But write down now what is wrong in this. Then expense, so some charges are given. Stamp duty is given how much? 20 rupees and 10 rupees. So you'll add 20 rupees and 10 rupees. And brokerage they are given 2%. Now one doubt will come, that brokerage will calculate on this price or on this price. One doubt will come. Understood? The doubt will come. Are you able to understand? So brokerage is actually calculated on contract price. Contract price means at what price the contract has been done. At what price the contract has been done. You only say first purchase the contract has been done at come interest price or X interest price. Come interest price. Therefore you will do 21,600 into what? 2%. How much? 432. But the second purchase, the contract has been done at which price? X interest price, means that is 720 into 2%. How much? 146. 146. Understood? Normally, don't worry, in exam they give this price. Sometimes they don't give. So I am just informing that situation also. Suppose they have given brokerage 2%, 3% off. So you need to calculate on contract price. Contract price means based on quotation. So first purchase was at come interest, second purchase was at X interest. Understood this point? Now you do give me the sum total, subtotal give me, add karo. How much? 5 and second 400. 36. Done. Have you understood? But any difficulty in this? Now we'll come to sale. No difficulty. Now we'll do working note number 2. For calculation of gain or loss on sale. So first write down date. What are 2 date? Write down 2 date. One is what? 1st September and 1st 12. First 30. 1st September and 1st 12. First write down nominal value. Nominal value is what? Is it 10,000 and 6,000. Give underline. This is only for your understanding what is the nominal value, because interest we calculate on nominal value. 1 second, format remains same. Write down the format first. What is the format? Come interest, sale price. Less what? Interest. This will become what? X interest, sale price. In this, from this minus what? Selling expense or brokerage, whatever given. This will become net sale proceed. From this will minus carrying amount of investment sold. This will be gain or loss. Format remains same. Whether the quotation is X or come, format will not change. Format will not change. Now find out for first 10,000. It is come interest or X interest. So 10,000 is a come X interest. So 10,000 into 92%. How much? So write down 9,000. This is 9,200 now. So 9,200. Write down. Have you understood this point? 6,000 at come interest or X interest. So 6,094 come interest. So 6,000 into 94%, how much? 5,640. Have you understood this? Now we can calculate interest as per month, whatever we have calculated. So month, for first, what was the month? It was 5 months. It was 2 months. 5 months and 2 months. So calculate. Always show calculation here. Okay. In exam, show the calculation how you have calculated. So this is 10,000 into 5% into 5 by 12 na? How much? 208. Here what? 6,000 into what? 5% into what? 2 by 12. How much? 50. Got this point? Now can you see we can easily find out what is X interest price? So 5640 minus 50, how much? 5,590. And here this is not required. Then also you can write down what is wrong in writing. So 9,200 plus 208, how much? Understood. Once again, brokerage. Now you will say brokerage will be calculated for first at which price? Brokerage, 2% brokerage there na. So 2% of what? Contract price. What is the contract price for first? 9,000. First was X or come? First was X na. 1 second. It will be at contract price. So first it was X interest. X interest become contract price. So on contract price, so 9,200. And second 2% of what? 5,640. 5,640. Can you give me the amount? 184 and 113. Can you minus it? 9016 and 5477. Okay, done. Have you understood this point? Calculation remains same in every question. Calculation remains same. Some question might be easier than this. All the information will be given directly. In this we are calculating all the information. The difference is that. But the format remains same. You need to put the information after calculating or as per the information given in the question. Have you understood the format? If you understood format, no mistake. Then avoid calculation mistake. Now I need to explain what? This point. Any question is silent will follow what? For this, I need to prepare account to explain that. So we'll prepare which account? Investment account. I am writing or I am not writing? Bolo, I am writing or I am not writing? I am preparing or not preparing? I am preparing. I am what? Chartered accountant or not chartered accountant? You are what? So are you writing? Are you also drawing format? अरे बोलो ना. How many of are not drawing? जो बोलेंगे सच के सिवा कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे. How many are not drawing? ऐसे उठाओ. What is this? बताओ. I have also solution. Check करो. Check करो. I have entire solution. I could have explained from this now. अरे बोलना रे. Who need to give CA exam? Me or you? Once again, determination is lack of determination. Lack of determination. Just try to understand. Whoever is not writing, ICA is watching you. Just try to understand. Everyone is watching you. God is watching you. Okay? Correct? Blessing will come from there. Understood? Got this point? Yes. Everything will come in exam hall. If I am writing, being a chartered accountant, then you should write twice, thrice, 4 times. Am I right or not? Please, please, please. Now, I think everyone knows that we need to prepare in how many column? Investment account, how many column? 5 column. Amount column, 3 column. It is the date or particulars. I am not a 5 column, 100% correct. But can is a 3 amount column? We call it 3 column investment account. 3 column investment account. अरे यार चलो थोड़ा सा अच्छा से बना देते हैं. One, 2, 3 and date also I am writing. चलेगा? Now 5 column. Okay. 1, 2, 3 and date also I am writing. Okay, sir. Now okay. So first will be what? Date. Then what? Particular. Then what? Nominal value. Not cost. Nominal value is not cost. Okay. Then what? Interest. Then what? Amount. Amount means cost. Investment account. Okay. Here also same thing. Credit side, debit side same. I am not writing everywhere. You write everywhere because I am to see na. Okay. Now this amount column means investment account. Amount column means which account? Interest column means what? Interest account. Means in one account we are preparing 2 accounts. From examination point of view, this is only from examination point of view because IC also follow that. Therefore, we are also following that. Practically, we never prepare in this way. Practically, there are 2 accounts: interest account and investment account. Practically, we prepare 2 accounts: interest account and. But from examination point of view, because ICI is following this, so we are also following this for simplicity. Chalega. So there are 2 accounts: interest account and this nominal value is for understanding. This nominal value is not a account. This is for making our calculation easy. For making our calculation easy. However, you can also avoid nominal value column, but don't avoid because ICI is also following. So we need to also follow. So account name you don't write interest account. Write an investment account. Investment account. Whatever investment is 5% debenture, whatever they have given. Now, can you say we should always start with opening balance? Opening balance with 1st Jan, but it is given 2, balance brought down, nil, nil, nil. But always start with opening balance. It is quite possible there is some opening balance of investment. Then first start with date wise. Always. So therefore this timeline is very important. So you should move in this way. You should move in which way? Timeline. Timeline to I have seen from there. Na? So you should move from this in this way. This date. So first date is coming 1st March. Then what? 31st March. Then 1st September. Then 30th September. Then 1st 12. Then 31st 12. In this way. And therefore this timeline become important. So first is 1st March. तो 1st March में what happened बताओ? 1st March में तो investment account debit bank. Correct. What is the nominal value? Nominal value is 24,000. You have written working note. Those you have written working note, from that you will give me the amount. Now, what is the interest paid? Interest paid. How much? 500. Interest paid is 500. From that working note we are taking. And what is the X interest cost price? Cost price. The last amount. X interest cost price. 21,000. 21,600. I don't know whether it is correct or wrong. I have asked, give me X interest cost price. Someone is saying 500, someone is saying 600. Chalo, I will say. So what is the interest paid? Interest paid you have given correct. And this is X interest cost price. You have given cum interest purchase price. I have written X interest cost price 21,552. 21,552. This working note to you have understood na? So investment account will be debited with X interest cost price. X interest cost price. What is X interest cost price? 21,552. 552. We have done mistake, so let us rectify it. Rectify it now. Have you understood this first journal entry? Write down 21552. Any mistake, yeah, any doubt about this? First, you can ask me. Anyone who have not understood, ask me right now. Understood? Now, second date is what? 31st March. On 31st March, interest will be received. Due date, we receive interest from whom? Company. On due date, we receive company for 6 months. Because it is half yearly. So, we are holding only 24,000. Correct now. So, buy bank. On what amount? 24,000 into what? Into what? How much? In which column? So 600. You can see we receive how much? We pay how much? So what is the interest income? Because we were holding for how many months? 1 month. Understood? Done. The next date, what is the next date? 1st September. Sale happened. So sale happened, means credited. So we write down 1st September. Buy bank. What is the nominal value? Nominal value is 10,000. What is the interest received? You have not done working note. You have not written working note. You said now you are writing. Those you have written, give me. Interest received. So interest received is 208. 208. Okay, sir. Once working note is done, now everything you can do with working note. And what is the net sale proceed? I am asking net sale proceed. After deducting expenses, net sale proceed. Question में नहीं है. ओए, ओए. Nothing is given in the question. Why you are asking question? Everything is in your working note. Don't see the question. You are wasting your time. Net sale proceed what? 9016. 9016. So investment account will be credited with what amount? 9016. 9016. समझ में आ रहा है? Are you able to understand 9016? Okay, sir. So write down 9016. Have you understood this much? But now we need to calculate gain or loss on sale. Gain will be credited and loss will be debited. Yes or no? Means for loss, what journal entry will do? In PL account debit to investment. And for gain, what journal entry will do? Investment account debit to PL. This much you understood? So for that we need to apply weighted average. So weighted average means what? What will do? What will do? We'll find out the balance, means before this sale. Just try to understand. Balance of this column, balance of amount column, divided by balance of nominal value column. So can you say balance of amount column will be 21552 only, and balance of nominal value column is what? 24,000. Correct? So what do you write down here? You need to calculate this now. 21552 is the cost price of 24,000. So what is the cost price? What is the nominal value of investment sold? 10,000. You can find out on an average basis. How much? 8,000? 8980. Once again, this amount is not important. This is important. Have you understood this? Because this 8980 you can calculate only when you have understood this. So have you understood this point? Got this point? 8980. And because sale price is more than carrying amount is a gain. What is the gain? Gain is what? 36. So what journal entry will do? Investment account debit to PL. Investment account debit to PL. So write down 2 PL or 2 gain. Whatever you can write down. Date is 1st September. You write down 2 gain. In which column? Amount column, because investment account will be debited. So how much? 36. Done. Have you understood? Now we'll come to next date. Next date is what? 38 September. Now 30th September there are two transactions. One is purchase, one is interest. Understood? And what we have assumed that on purchase, the investor is paying interest. Correct. It means that investor will receive entire investment from the company. This assumption to you have understood now. So first purchase journal entry. Batao, what was the date? 38th September. To bank. What is the nominal value? Nominal value. Those who have done the working note, they can say 8,000. How much interest paid? 200. What is the X interest cost price? 7430. 7436. 7436. Okay, sir. Let's see whether it is correct or not. Yes, 100% correct. Done. Okay, sir. Any doubt in this journal entry? I think no doubt. Now, can you say on the same date, company will pay interest to the investor? Means investor will receive, so on 30th September by bank. On what amount? So can you say on 24,000 plus 8,000 minus what? 10,000. Because 10,000 is sold. 10,000 is sold. So 24 plus 8 minus 10, how much? 22,000 into 5% into 6 by 12. How much? 550. Done. Understood? We just try to understand. In this 8,000, this investor has paid 6 months initially, then received also 6 month interest. So kata kata hua. Means actually that is neither income nor expense for that party. Because he has paid 200 and then received also 200. Understood? So that 200 nullified na? Have you understood these points? Okay, sir. After 30th September, again we'll come to which date? 1st December. That was sale date. So 1st December. By bank. What is the nominal value? What is the interest? 50. And what is the net sale proceed? 557777. करेक्ट चेक कर लेते हैं 5477 ना 54 or 55 it is 54 or 55 I don't have calculator 54 na 5477 why you have said 55 54 now okay understood now we need to find out gain or loss once again so what is the formula is what before this sale find out the balance of amount column the balance of amount column will be what just try to understand balance of amount this plus this minus this is the balance of amount column are you getting what I am saying to find out balance of amount column how much it is coming this plus this minus this 20,000 008 20,000 008 the balance of amount column is 20,008 divided by balance of nominal value column so nominal value column is what this is this plus this minus this how much 22,000 it means what what is the cost price of 22,000 it is 20,000 rupees 8 it is correct now and what is the nominal value of investment sold so can you give me proportionate 5 to 54 so gain or loss 5477 5457 there is a gain of 20 rupees gain of 20 rupees have you understood this calculation the formula become what the balance of amount column divided by balance of nominal value column multiplied by nominal value of investment sold That become weighted average price of the investment sold. Normally student do mistake यहाँ पर in this calculation. It does not mean they don't know. In exam hall with pressure they will do mistake. Okay, sir. Now 20, because that is a gain. Gain will be transferred. What journal entry? Investment account debit to gain on first 12 to gain, and that will be 20 rupees. Now you can close the account. Correct. Now on 31st March, by balance carried down. So what is the nominal value? 24,000 plus 8,000 minus 10,000 minus 6,000. How much? 31st December. December कर दो. How much? 24 plus 8 minus 10 minus 6. 16,000 is left. Correct. Can you give me the balance of amount column? This plus this plus this plus this minus this two. $14,551. This have you understood? Are you getting what I am saying? Have you understood this? Correct. Now 2 more points is left. If I say that 2 points, entire concept is over. First, take 2 minutes by your own. Have you understood this much, whatever I have done or not? If you have understood, then we'll proceed. Means this working note, have you understood? Have you understood this working note and this entire posting? Now 2 more points. Second working note. This you want me to explain? Which working note? What happened? Understood na? Done? Concept you have understood na? Now last 2 points. Now in this type of questions, can I say this amount? Case the company has paid interest up to 38 September. So 3-month interest is accrued but not paid by company. So from investor point of view, 3-month interest is accrued but not received. So can I say we do accounting on accrual basis? Even though not received, we need to accrue or not. This is also implied point that by our own we should calculate 3-month interest on 16,000. So on 16,000, can you say we need to find out accrual interest at a rate of 5% for how many months? 3 months. 3 months means up to 30th September we have received. So 30th September, 31st March we have not received, but it has been accrued and therefore we need to pass the journal entry for that. So 16,000, how much is coming? 200. Understood? It means, can I say this all side is interest income and this what is interest paid here, interest expense. So balance will be the total interest income, net interest income that will be transferred to what? Here. So can you give me the balance of interest account? Balance of interest account 908, and on 31st 12 this will be transferred to what? PL account. On 31st 12 this will be transferred to PL account. So close interest account and transfer the balance to PL account. That is very simple, but normally students will forget this. So be careful. Be careful. Normally we forget in exam. The last point. Just as this 14,551 is the cost price or is the fair value? Cost price. It is a cost price. But fair value might be given in the question. As it is given in this question, it is given how much percentage? 91%. And we have already said we'll assume it is a current or long-term investment? Current investment. So can you see this cost price is how much? 14,551. But we'll compare with fair value. They have given what is the 91%. So 61,000 into 91%. How much? 14,560. So but the cost price or market price or fair value, whichever is lower. So what is the lower? It means there is no reduction, and there is no reduction, this amount will come in the ledger account. Understood? And there is no reduction. No reduction means no journal entry, na? But suppose this is 14,551 and this is coming 14,000. So how much reduction? 551. It means we'll pass one more journal entry. Journal entry will have PL account debit to investment account. And can I say this 551 will be written yahan par and this will become 14,000. 14,000. The closing balance will become then what? 14,000. Understood? So you need to compare cost price with the fair value. Fair value information will be given in the question. If not given, then we'll assume that fair value is more than what? Cost price. Have you understood this point? Entire investment account is completed with respect to fixed income bearing investment. Fixed income bearing investment. Have you understood? I have done all the points. One last point is left. In this question, there is no opening balance. Suppose opening balance was given 10,000 and the book value is also given 9,000. This will be given. Correct? Now just try to understand. If I am saying opening balance, so last year this opening balance was closing balance. And last year on that closing balance, we have also calculated accrued interest for 3 months. So it means, can I say this opening balance will have opening accrued interest. Opening accrued interest. So by your own, you should calculate what? 10,000 into 5% for how many months? 3 months. So be careful about opening balance and closing balance. So what is the point what I want to say? For opening balance and closing balance, calculate accrued interest by your own. And accrued interest will be calculated from last due date to the opening date or closing date. Understood? Correct. So normally what I have seen, normally student will forget about this too. And can you see if you have forgotten about this, then your interest income will be wrongly calculated. This amount will be wrongly calculated. Understood? Now all point done. All point done. Chalega. So can we repeat once again whatever we have done? Ki first calculate working note number 1 about calculation of X interest, cost price. What is the format? Can you give me format? Start with come interest, purchase price minus interest paid. This will become X interest. In this will add all the expenses, whatever expenses given. This will become X interest, cost price. Format you have understood. Now whether the quotation is come or X, the format remain same. Now working note number 2, what is the format to calculate gain or loss? We will start with come interest, sale price. From this minus what? Interest received. This will become X interest, sale price. From this minus what? All the expense whatever has been given. This become net sale profit. From this minus carrying amount of investment sold. This will become gain or loss. This carrying amount will be either by using or by using FIFO. You want me to take one more question? Huh? One more question for practice? No or yes? Who is saying no? So you don't do, others will do. Okay. Those who are saying do. One more question. Question 4. Gamma, prepare timeline by your. I will not prepare timeline. While reading the question, draw the timeline. Okay. Gamma Investment Company hold 1,000 opening balance. Hold means opening balance. 15% debenture of rupees 100 is in Beta Industries Limited on 1st April 2009 at a cost of rupees 1,05,000. This is the opening balance of investment 1,05,000. Interest payable on 30th June and 31st December each year. These are the due date. 30th June and 31st December. Everyone will draw timeline. Everyone will draw timeline. On 1st May 2009, 500 debentures are purchased at cum interest at rupees 53,500. It means they have given cum interest price. Thank you very much. And no information about expense is given. So this is a question without expense. This is a question without expense. More easy. Okay. Then on November 1, 2009, 600 debentures are sold ex interest at rupees 57,300. Then on November 30, 400 debentures are purchased ex interest at 38,400. Then on 31st December, 600 debentures are sold cum interest for 82,500. Prepay investment account sold showing value at cost using FIFO method. The market price of debenture was 90. So they have said FIFO method. So now first out method. Correct. So what you will do? First you will do working note number 1 by your own, then working note number 2 by your own, then investment account will do together. Do. You have only 5 minutes. Huh? Do fast calculation. In exam also you will have 5 minutes only. Huh? First working note number 1, then working note number 2. Once you have drawn timeline, then there is nothing to see in the question. Timeline you have written everything now. Now see the question timeline. Everything is given timeline. Calculate interest calculator. Interest calculation is the main point. If you have interest calculation wrong, then your cost price will be also wrong. So be careful about interest calculation. Let's see how many of you are doing 100% correct. Working note number 1 done. 2 you are doing, na? You done. 2 be done. Those who have done 2, start preparing investment account. Those who have done working note number 2. Everyone done working note number 2? Everyone done working note number 2? So can we first cross check that? Huh? Let us first cross check that. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen? Ki unnecessary will do something wrong in investment account. So let us come to this question. Yeah. Working note number 1. X interest cost price 51,000 and 38,400. Is it correct? Bolo. हाँ. X interest cost price 51,000, 38,400. How many done mistake? Raise your hand. Still mistake is there. Okay. Okay. चलो ठीक है. Now, working note number 2, X interest sale price, because net sale product, because there is no selling expense, is 57,300 and 78,000. 57,300 and 78,000. How many done correct? Balance you have done mistake. Huh? It means till now not understood. 1 second. Chalo theek hai. Okay. So we will do. Now where we have done mistake, it means just try to understand everyone. Those who have done correct, they need to have a solution. Because it might happen you have done correct right now, but there are some point you have also not understood. Leave it now. Calculation, leave it. It means one thing we have understood, that even though we have understood, we are not good in calculation. Yes or no? Even though we have calculator. Bolo yes or no? Means calculation mistake is one of the reasons why we are not getting the marks. Conceptually we have understood, but we are not able to calculate it correctly because of lack of practice. Because we are not habituated, or we have not done a lot of practice of this type of questions, and because of that reason we are doing mistake. So where we have done mistake, that we need to understand. Okay? Now whatever you have done, whatever you will say, I will write down. Means I will not write by my own. First, have you drawn a timeline? So can you help me? So the year start with 1st April. Opening balance how much? What was the cost price? 1 lakh. Then what was the due date? What are the two due date? 38 June, 38 December. And this become 31st month. What is the first purchase date? 1st May. So 1st May will come yahan par. What is the nominal value? And come interest or X interest? How much? 500. Next is what? In the next date is what? 1/7, 1/11. 1/11 will come yahan par. 1/11. It is purchase or sale? Sale. What is the nominal value? 60. And come interest or X interest? How much? 57,300. Then next date is what? 38 November. So 38 November will also come यहाँ पर. What is the purchase ना? What is the nominal value? 40,000. At what? X interest 38,400. Next date is what? 31st December. 31st December will come यहाँ पर. So how many you done 30th June, 30th September? Array, you said I have written. I don't know. I don't remember question. You have already said 30th June, 30th September. Na? 30th June or 31st December you said. Oh, my mistake then. 31st December. Oh, पूरा ही खराब हो गया. चल 30th June and 31st December you said. Okay, now okay. Now, can you give me first, second transaction was what? 1st November na? So 1st November. What was the sale price, means nominal value? And at X interest how much? 57,300. Then it is 38 November. So 38 November, what is the purchase? 40 at what? X interest 38,400. Last is what? 31st December. It is again sale. Nominal value 60. Come interest 82,500. This was the entire information. Market price is also given at the end. Market price how much? At the end 90%. This is the information. So let's see where you have done mistake. Now, first, interest will be calculated for how many months? From last due date. Last due date means from last year, 31st December. Understood? 31st December to 1st May. How many months? 4 months, na? So 4 months. For first 11, how many months? Bolo. From 30th June to 1st 11. July, August, September, October. Calculating this way, na? 4 months. For 30th September, 5 months. And for 31st 12, come interest. Always we have assumed that first interest will be done and then it will be received by the company. That only we have assumed. So come interest 31st 12. So 6 month interest. 6 month interest. How many have done mistake here only? How many done mistake I am asking? You have done mistake? So have you identified your mistake? It means concentration level should be high. How to increase the concentration level? First thing, just try to understand. Whenever you are studying, in exam hall, 3 hours is the important factor. And if that 3 hours you will not be able to concentrate, then 100% whatever you are writing, you are doing calculation mistake. A high level of concentration is required. Now, how to learn for effective concentration? Whenever you are studying, make sure that for how many hours you are studying. For example, you decided that 1 hour you will study. 1 hour you will study. Right now, I am forcing you to sit down. Na? So here you are forced to sit down. Yes or no? Because you can't go outside the class. But whenever you are doing self-study, then your mind will control you. So suppose you fix that 1 hour you need to study. So make sure that in that 1 hour, you are not speaking to anyone. You are not speaking to anyone. And suppose you are feeling sleepy, sleep there only. But don't move from that place. If you can sit for 1 hour, then increase 1.5 hours. Then make it 2 hours. And then make it 3 hours. 3 hours you need to sit and study. And the exam is also of how many hours? So can you concentrate for 3 hours? So it means you need to study for how many hours? 3 hours at a stretch. And if you can study for 3 hours at a stretch, means in exam also you can sit for 3 hours. And that will be with concentration. Because whatever you are writing, your mind will say to write down. If your mind is not, in your control, so it will not be able to think. Understood? So because of that reason you are doing mistake. 4 months will become 3 months, 3 months will become 2 months. Correct? I think in this only concentration was missing. You know the concept, but the concentration was missing. Now let us come to the calculation fast. So first working note number 1, you need to write on date. Date is what? 1st May and 31st, 38 November. Okay. What is the nominal value given? Nominal value is what? 50,000 and 40,000. Format remains same. First we write down cum interest price less interest, and that will become X interest. Format remains same. So first they have given cum interest. Write down 53,500. And then they have given X interest 38,000. Write down 38,400. Write down this. For this you will calculate interest for how many months? 4 months. Now next mistake. What you have done? How many of you calculated interest on 53,500? Raise your hand. I need to identify the mistake. Now I know where you can do mistake. This is what. Once again, you have not applied my format. You have not written nominal value. Yes or no? Yes or no? Bolo. Dekho, I know nervous system student. So if you have just try to understand everyone, one thing. Why you are in this class? Why? Dekho, you have taken classes from somewhere. Why you are in this class? To become more effective. And you trust on me, therefore you are coming. Otherwise, to why you will come? Are bolna re? Last day I have done. Last day we made for the first time, na? And you are coming again. Means thoda sa to trust is there, na? Ki I am giving something extra. Are bolna re? So now whatever I am saying, follow that, na? Follow. You know Dronacharya? You know Mahabharata? Understood now? But there was only one Arjun. Because Arjun followed what? Dronacharya. Krishna kahan se aa gaya? Dronacharya is the guru of what? Arjun. So he was many students na, but there is only one Arjun. Because Arjun used to follow what? Dronacharya. So you need to follow your guru, and therefore then only you will avoid some mistake. I was 100%. I know the nervous student. If you will not write nominal value, you will calculate on this amount, and that mistake happens. Same thing you will do in exam hall. Okay, sir. Now give me correct interest for how many months? 4 months. How much? 2,500. And on 40,000, how much? For how many months? 5 months. 2,500. So 53,000 minus 2,500. How much? 51,000. And this is not required, but if you want to write down, write down. Correct? If you want to write down, but not required for solution. This, because there is no expense, this only become X interest, cost price. I am here to identify what mistake you are doing. If you understand that, then only you will not do that mistake in exam hall. Now let us come to working note number 2. Once again, the format remains same. What are the two dates? Date you give me. It is 38, 111 and 31st 12. 111 and 31st 12. Nominal value is how much? Can you give me? Nominal value is 60,000 and both are 60. Both are 60. Okay, sir. Now can you give me the format? Format is what? Cum interest, sale price minus what? Interest. That become X interest, sale price. But there is no expense. There is no expense. If there is expense, so we'll do minus expense also. Now, can you give me for first? It is cum interest or X interest? How much? How much? 57,300. For second, it is come interest. How much? 82,500. Once again, I think those who have done mistake, they have calculated on this amount, but we need to calculate on nominal value, interest. So interest we need to calculate. Already we have said 4 month and 6 month. Can you give me interest 4 month and 6 month? 3,000 exact and 4,500. This minus this how much? 7,000 78,000 78,000. This we don't require. If you want to write down. Now from this what we deduct? Carrying amount of investment sold based on what? FIFO method. But for that we need to wait for investment account. Don't do directly. We need to wait for investment account. Okay, so once we have calculated this, we can find out gain or loss. Now let us come to investment account. Investment account. This I will do with you. Once again, 3 amount column. Now I am not writing date. Date you write down by your own. I am not writing date. For the opening balance, how much given? 2 balance brought down. It is 1 lakh what? And 1,05,000 is what? Cost price. Opening balance. Opening balance. Always think about opening accrued interest. Even the question is silent. So 3 month accrual is there. 3 month accrual is there. So 1 lakh into what? 15% into what? 3 by 12. How much? 3,750. Here, high chances that you will do mistake. High chances. Means you will ignore this. Next, what is the date? Date is what? It is 1/5. 1/5 we purchase. So 2 bank. What is the nominal value? What is the interest? What is the X interest cost price? 53,500. Simple. Who said 53,500? Okay. It means mistake. I am not angry, huh? I am not angry, but you need to accept it. You raise hand, I am happy. When you are raising hand means you are accepting your mistake, means you are realizing that yes, I have committed some mistake. Now I will not commit. Always take what? This price. Kasam kha. Like God promise bolo. Kasam. Promise. God promise will take what? X interest cost price. X interest cost price. Not top, bottom wala. Bottom wala amount. Okay? Correct? 51,000. 51,000. So investment is debited with what amount? X interest cost price. And therefore we are calculating that amount. Now, the reason to calculate that amount is this only. Once you have calculated, don't see the question. Why you are doing mistake? Because you are seeing the question. Don't see the question. Question is not at all important. Working note is important. Okay? Next, what is the next date? I think interest date. What is the next date? Interest, na? So we receive interest on what amount? On what? 10,000 plus 50,000. 60,000 into what? 1 lakh. My mistake. 1 lakh plus 1,50,000. 1,50,000 into what? 15% into what? 6 by 12. How much it is coming? 11,050. Next sale happened. What is the date? 1/11. By bank. What is the nominal value? 60,000. What is the interest? 3,000. What is the net sale profit? Net sale profit, or you can say X interest sale price in this question. X interest sale price and net sale profit are same because there is no expense in this. But always will take net sale profit. Net sale profit. Understood? Net sale profit means after deducting expense. After deducting expense, what is the price? 57,300. Now we have to calculate gain or loss. Now FIFO means this has been sold from this lot. So this lot means 1,05,000 divided by 1 lakh into what? So how to calculate this? FIFO means 1,05,000 is the lot from which 60,000 has been sold. The cost price of 1,05,000, cost price of 1 lakh is 1,05,000. So what is the cost price of 60,000? How much? 63. So there is a gain or loss? Loss, na? Loss. Loss how much? Loss how much? 5,000. 5,700 loss. So what journal entry? PL account debit to investment. PL account debit to investment. So write down by PL. How much? 5,700. Done. Chalega. Any doubt? Okay. Next transaction is what? Again purchase to bank. What is the nominal value? What is the interest? 2,500. And what is the X interest cost price? 38,000. 38,000. 38,400, no? 38,400. Done. Next date is 31st 12. But on that two transaction is there. One is interest, one is sale. So on sale, because we are receiving interest, so on that portion we will not receive from company because already we receive from the party. Correct? Are you agreeing? So first you can do sale transaction. Bata. By bank. What is the nominal value? 60. Interest already calculated how much? 4,500. What is the net sale proceed? 78,000. But we need to find out gain or loss. Now just try to understand. This 60,000, first 60,000 was sold from this. So out of this, how much left? 40,000 left. Means this 60,000, 40,000 has been taken from this and 20,000 has been taken from second lot. Second lot. Understood? Means you need to find out first cost price of 40,000 and then cost price of 20,000 whatever has been sold. Have you understood? So first 40,000 it will be what? It is 1,05,000 divided by 1 lakh into what? 40,000 is equal to 42,000. And for next 20,000 we'll take this, that is 51,000. 51,000 divided by 50,000 into what? 20,000 is equal to 20,400. Total is what? 62,400. Very simple. 62,400. Everyone understood? Means this question I am doing for this particular part only, and to identify where you can do mistake. 62,400. Now what is the gain or loss? Gain how much? 15,600. Gain will come in debit side of investment account. Write down 2PL. How much gain? 16,000. 15,600. Done. Now 31st 12 we receive interest also on the balance portion. So 1 lakh plus 50 minus 40 minus 60 minus 60. How much left? How much left? Bol do. 70,000. On 70,000 again we receive interest at a rate of 15% from company for 6 months. How much? 5,250. 5,250 on 70,000. This you have understood. Now we'll come to closing balance. Closing balance by balance brought down. So closing balance is 70,000. 70,000. On this 70,000 we'll do accrual interest for how many months? 3 months. That is implied point. So 3 month interest can you calculate? 70,000 into 15%. Right, madam? Bol. Date to I am not writing only. You write. I am not writing date. Understood na? ठीक है. Okay, चलता है. Into 3 by 12 how much? 2625. Please don't discuss among yourself. Whatever doubt is, ask me. I am the best person to answer. Believe me, I am the best person to explain your doubt. Believe me. And if you ask your friend, your doubt will be removed, but it will not be explained in a proper way. So better ask me only now. Whether I am in hurry, whether you are thinking I am in hurry, I am not in hurry. If required, I'll extend 2 more days. But ask me, okay? Okay. 70,000 into 15% to 3 by 12, 2625. Now this will be cost price of fair value, whichever is lower. First, we'll find out cost price. Can you give me the balance? Balance is coming how much? Balance means this minus this. How much? 69,000. This is the cost price. So balance you can find out. Now we'll compare to market price. Market price, whatever they have given, market price means fair value. So they have given how much percentage? They have given how much percentage? 90%. 90% they have given. So 90% of 70,000. 90% of the 70,000 into 90%. How much? Whichever is lower. So what is the value? 60,000. What is the reduction? So 69,000 is reduced by how much? 6,000 is the loss. So what we write down? Here we write down one again by PL. Loss is what? 6,000, and your closing balance will become how much? 63,000. This is the final answer. Close interest column also. Interest column, the balance will be transferred to PL account. Have you understood this part? Compare cost price with market price. If market price is lower than cost price, the difference will be transferred to PL. Will pass one journal entry, PL account debit to investment, and then balance will become 63,000. Understood? Understood? Have you understood? Done. So my job done as related to fixed income bearing investment. Nominal value. Cost price. Market price. What was your doubt? You are only giving clarification. Okay. Doubt was not there. You are asking what is that amount. Okay. Any doubt? No, it means thoda sa practice required. Because in exam, if you are doing calculation mistake in interest calculation, then your entire marks will be deducted. 8 marks will become 0 marks. Okay. Do 2-3 more questions by your own. Confidence will come. And if you are doing mistake, identify that mistake, correct it. Write down there somewhere that you are doing that mistake. Okay, sir. We'll take some 15-minute break, and then we'll come back to the last topic of this chapter, that is variable income bearing investment. Okay.